Vacuum pump for heating and air conditioning. One may have heard of the term vacuum, heard the HVAC techs or gurus or whatnot speak of a vacuum. So, question: what is a vacuum? This is a vacuum pump. It's used for pulling vacuums on units when they're new, split units primarily. Um, some package unit, I'm not sure on package units unless you break them down and have to release the freon. You probably shouldn't, is generally speaking, may not have to consider that as much, but primarily a split unit. So purpose: what does a vacuum pump do? A vacuum pump, just a rule of thumb, just think of this as a this is an analogy. Again, this is a fictitious analogy. It's not real, but just think of this as an air compressor in reverse. An air compressor, I think, would give you air and project air. This would pull air and remove air out, air, condensables, etc. And then it would probably remove it from this little cap. You would have to unscrew the cap. And then this is an electric pump, so your stuff would come here. You would plug this in here. You would connect your gauges up here. So they have just for your regular gauges here. They have this here. Now some people may have a larger hose. So if you have a larger hose, they give you this, which may simply mean that you may be able to pull the vacuum at a faster or quicker rate. But generally speaking, and this is a plug-in, just plugs in. So it's a must tool. It's not a nice tool to have in heating and air conditioning. It's an essential staple item if you're going to do any kind of heating and air. And what you're doing with the vacuum, you're actually removing the air and the non-condensables out of the system. So instead of putting air in, you're removing air out. So just think of your car tire. If you sucked all the air out and it shriveled up, say like a raisin or something. But this actually, the copper lines are too strong to collapse like that. But one should pull down and use the vacuum pump to pull a vacuum and remove it, and then via the gauges connected here or here or here for that matter. And this tool here will aid you in doing it. Now, there are different configurations. It's not a one size fits all. There are different sizes, different configurations, different whatever CFM or whatever stage vacuum pumps. But it may be a great idea to actually get a vacuum pump, a good quality vacuum pump, because when anytime air is entered into a system, it's going to adversely affect the system, the compressor, the refrigerant, etc. You could shorten the life expectancy, but it's not a good idea to connect the system, sweat it in, and just release the refrigerant. You must, in my opinion, pull a vacuum before, to remove all the air, non-condensable, so it doesn't adversely affect your compressor or your other items in the system. So, and this is a vacuum pump. This is what it does. It actually removes, so it actually just, you could think of it like a straw. You pull it, maybe, I don't know if negative vacuum would be the correct term, but think of a straw when you suck air out or suck soda out of a bottle with a straw. You're actually pulling it out. This is what this is not doing that, but this is actually pulling the air, etc., out of the line. So then when you release the refrigerant or add refrigerant, then this helps the heating and air conditioning work effectively. Vacuum pump for a heating and air conditioning system. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.